David Brady, what the hell happened? Oh.
That sums up Mayo's weekend.
Flat line. Boo.
Is that the sound of Mayo's championship hopes? Is that the sound of the life support machine
Being plugged out.
being plugged out? It's Mayo's hopes of ending the curse, or curse themselves.
DB is back. DB, I just asked you what the hell happened there, and we got the dial tone, so I don't know if you want to answer us now.
The tail between my legs hit the off button.
15 points, I think you called it. 15 points was your prediction.
I think I called it that Mayo needed to win by 12 to 15.
Right.
If they were going to show any sort of credentials or continuation of form or being one of the best teams in the country. And look, it's a different story today on the Monday than it was on the Friday. And no matter what, you have to hand it to Roscommon. They weren't lucky. They weren't, they played. When you look at it, and it was a fantastic game of football. Some of the scores, points taken from play, the goals. Just it was a fantastic game of football that Mayo entered into, and the minute that ball was thrown up, and I think a lot of people sensed it. You know what? Roscommon were up for it. They brought a physicality to the game that matched their intensity, and they didn't drop that level from the very first to the last minute.
When it comes to Mayo and how they approach the game, is there questions about that, David? Because obviously there were clear errors that were made, there was frees that were missed, but was there also an approach issue in terms of whether the players themselves had the incorrect mentality, or perhaps even from the sideline? What was your take on that?
Probably the same ones that Mayo have had consistently over the last number of years. That no matter who they play against, whether it's the Durries, the Kildales, even in league football to a degree, the Monaghan's, the Cavans, the Roscommons, everyone has a chance, and everyone has been given a chance, and I think that's probably a failure from a Mayo perspective on the way they approach games. That they open up an opportunity for every team because of the way they play, the style they play. And I think we've seen it on Saturday evening, the way that they allowed the game to open them up. And I think that's a major learning from a Mayo perspective. And the game did open them up, especially around their half-back line. I'm surprised from both sides, on the pitch and off the pitch, that they allowed that naivety to creep into their game. And it was a perfect tactical game plan from a Roscommon point of view. And you know what? Yeah, Brendan Harrison, Chris Barrett, Keith Higgins didn't have one of their finest games, but it would have been torture to be playing in the full back line with the amount of space that was afforded to the inside Roscommon forward line.
Yeah, we might get into that in a moment, but I just want to come back to that attitude point that you brought up, or it's not really an attitude point, the idea that everybody has a chance against Mayo. Like, at what point did this change for you, David? Because this used to be an issue. This definitely wasn't an issue in the first Horan era, particularly near the end of his tenure. They were hockeying teams in Connacht. They were winning Connacht at a canter, and now they're struggling to win Connacht at all. So what's happened there? Why are they letting teams back in? What's changed in their mentality?
Struggling, yeah. Like, the last time we had a bad run from a Mayo perspective and not winning a Connacht Provincial was 1956 to 63. That was the worst barren spell from a Connacht perspective. But you know what? Is it Mayo, or is it teams are copping on to Mayo? And I do, no matter who, if you look at it, you go, how do I beat Mayo? Well, first of all, you don't give them the space that has been afforded them in the past by teams. You frustrate them. I think that's a major bone of contention. If you can frustrate this Mayo team, and get in their face, that it doesn't suit them. They don't like it. And from an attacking point of view, again, you can give them all the ball they want. Like, I think it was something like 7 out of 18 kick-outs in the first half. Mayo won. But you're going to let them win it, but what do they do with it? Again, you frustrate them, you put them under pressure in the kick, and time again, the wrong options were taken from an attacking point of view. The pressure, the shot wasn't on. Percentages, and you always work in percentages, and that's what you're coached and that's what you're told. But Mayo took the wrong percentages, the wrong options. The only one time that they ever even nearly threatened the Roscommon goal was a lovely ball in from Evan Regan into James O'Connor, who should have got a result out of whether it was over the bar or a point. But again, when you're not in that situation once in 70 minutes, it doesn't stand to you, and Mayo didn't threaten goal in any way, shape or form.
Is this a terminal blow, or because we've seen this film before, there's a belief that Mayo can somehow wangle their way to the Super 8, and then sure, it doesn't really matter how you got there. The Super 8 is a completely new competition.
Yeah, it's we've seen this film before, but there's I don't know when this box set is going to end, George. That's the truth, because it's I have to say, I'm still dazzled by it, because you're going, you know what, you have. I going into the game, I said, you know what, they have competition for places. They you know, that's no one is allowed to relax now because of the young guys they had coming up. Will the back door give them and James Horan an opportunity for more game time, more experience? But when you look at it, and it is, Roscommon finished with 40 men because of all their subs used. You can't have a panel and bring on the likes of Kieran Tracy after 73 minutes when your forwards aren't functioning. And it's not. I don't care who your name is, but if you're playing okay, that's not good enough. And you can't bring on someone that showed a lot of balls and capability in going for goal in the final of a National League, and then to be only brought on at 73 minutes when you have a total of 19 wides up to that stage.
See,
you have to have faith in the guys, and there was a time on the 50th minute on the button that Mayo came back level, and that was the turning point. That should have been the turning point, our indicator to say, no, let's bring on fresh thoughts, fresh legs. Because when you're in a situation like that, and you have wide after wide, and you're not functioning, it's kind of an epidemic at that stage.
Yeah.
But you're saying to yourself, you do need a functioning free taker, and time again, it has cost Mayo. But our two functioning free takers were Evan Regan, who I thought was playing. I thought he was playing well, but he was taken off, and then you had Jason Doherty taken off. So the last kick of the game, it boils down to your first free kick of the game for Kevin McLaughlin. You're ISing in. When you have Rob taking the longer range frees from 35 or 40 yards out, that doesn't afford your free taker to get his eye in and to be confident on the ball.
When you know it's the last kick of the game, do you just bring Rob up for that and say, right, look?
When you know it's the last kick of the game, you know what? It shows. It's called the epidemic of in confidence, and there was no one going to turn around to bring Rob up after missing the three odd frees that he missed. But you're going, why change course all of a sudden now? I would say Kevin McLaughlin has saved Mayo in the last kick of many game from dead balls and from play. But right. It's just, you know what? It wasn't the easiest free kick, but I'm going, if you have faith, keep the faith.
What was with Diarmuid O'Connor relinquishing the duties there? He had the ball in his hand and then seemed to give it to Kevin McLaughlin. Was that him just saying that he didn't want to take the free, or that he felt Kevin McLaughlin would take it? Like either way, it kind of seems like a lack of confidence there, which I don't know where that's come from, David. Like, it must have just come from within the game, because like Diarmuid O'Connor kicked two unbelievable scores in Croke Park in the league final. He was absolutely brimming with confidence. Like, I'm just confused as to where this self-doubt has started to eke into Mayo.
Yeah, and it's you know what, it eked in from the first minute in that game, and that's again, you say to yourself, who is your dedicated free kicker? Who's your dedicated free taker from the left or right? Now, the conditions weren't ideal, but if the wind, if you look at it, the way the wind was, it was going from right to left, so it's not ideally suited to a left-footed free kicker, because you have to cut to the right a little bit. And you know what? Going back, and I'll be honest, when I seen Kevin McLaughlin taking the ball, I went, you know what? Yeah, good head. Good guy, and has done it before in the past when it really counted in the last minute of a game. But it's when you're going. Kevin was the fourth free taker of the night. That doesn't continuity. That just doesn't. That's not good enough. And you have to. Okay, Killian is. They have relied so much on Killian over the years, but you have to sort it out. And them decisions, you know what? The responsibility is handed to the players. It's not something that a manager will run on and saying, you know what, you're taking this free kick. It's a learning curve for the guys to say who takes it. And you know what? The ones that should have been taken, probably the Evan Regan and Darren Cohen were off the pitch. Again, there's not many games where you score 5 points from play. Now, whatever GPS stats or whatever, notionally too, a manager knows the players better than anyone. If he sees that his lungs are out and is gone. But I'll tell you one thing with Darren Cohen: if he's standing on his two legs and he has the ball in his hand, he is as accurate as you get. Whether his lungs are gone or what, or his legs are gone. But Mayo should have brought on a lot more, 3 or 4, at least 3 subs around the 55th minute. We brought Andy Moran, Conor Diskin. But that was it up until the game was nearly gone from us.
If you had the choice to crystallise one Mayo season now, David, for going forward and trying to make it as far as possible in the All-Ireland, would you pick where they are currently? Would you pick where they are under Pete Rochford? Would you pick where they are under Holmes and Kennelly?
Good question. And you know what? It's the most competitive provincial championship is Connacht. I think it's a fantastic. It's fantastically competitive, but you have to win. You have to win Connacht to know again how to gauge your training sessions, how to gauge your fitness. There's a lot of peaks and troughs. You have Super 8s to look at and with one eye, but at the end of the day, one eye in the past, one eye in the future. It's the present that suffers, and I don't think nobody wants to be in this position as regards Mayo players, Mayo supporters. The piggy banks were robbed for New York, but by this over the next few weeks, it's going to be hard times because again it's on the road. But look, it's not. We've seen it before. And last year I have to say I was very disappointed to say this Mayo team have never given in, and they haven't. But we bowed out very limply against Kildare, and I don't think that's going to. I don't think that's going to happen again. Let whoever they get in the back door. It's 3 more games. Let whoever get be to the benefit of Mayo, and to say, you know what, let's not get opened up at the back. Let's not have our whole half back line being sucked up the pitch, and you're allowed pop ball. You're allowed pop ball 20, 30 yards down into a man-on-man full forward line. You know what? If Mayo are going to do anything, there'll be one team that'll tank, and that's Roscommon. If they're going to progress in any way, shape or form this year, because there's a lot of lessons to be learned out of it.
DB, good stuff this morning. Thanks a million for joining us.
Cheers, guys.